Now for the show that's truly too hot to handle. It's The Melting Pat, and it starts right now.
You're listening to The Melting Pat. Here's your host, Pat Johnson.
Why, thank you, Jerome. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the show, The Melting Pat. Thank you for being here. I hope you are well. Hope you're staying cool and dry and safe and all those things. How are you? You good? It's been a tough couple days for me, physically anyway. For me! We haven't done that in a long time. I don't think it went well either. But I hope you're doing okay. We got some stuff going on today. We do. We got a question that I'm actually going to lead with. Well, not technically. The first thing I'll actually talk about will be the question about if you were team mom or dad, what would be your go-to snack? We'll talk about a fantasy football story that made one Major League Baseball player slap another. It's just a ridiculous story, and I don't even know that I'll have all the information by the time we get to it. I think there will be more by the time the show comes out. It's just so ridiculous. We'll also talk about some other sports things, the Phillies and how bad they are. And we'll talk about John Madden just because, why not? Why not? And we'll talk about my new plan for Memorial Day weekend going forward based on what happened the other day. So we'll get to all of that. But the first thing we are doing for you as I shift in my chair, if you're on the Patreon, patreon.com/themeltingpat, you can see this. I match my headband and my shirt, both match today. I don't really plan these things in advance. It just kind of happens. But if you're on the Patreon, you can see it. Boom. I think it's straight. I don't know. It'll be fine. You can also see Squirtle behind me. So if that's not a reason to subscribe to the Patreon to see all this stuff, I really don't know what is. So let me know what you want me to put on here. But anyway, for everybody, the patrons don't get the song because then I'd have to pay people, and I don't want to do that. So before we get to all of the things for the show, Pat, just get on with it. Jesus Christ. All right. Relax. We're going to do it. We have a song from our dear friend RAVIVE. You may remember she was on the show on Thanksgiving. It was fantastic, and I hope to have her back soon. But she released an EP called Trauma Response, and it is great. I highly recommend it. Go stream it. Go buy it. Go let her know that I sent you in her direction, and she'll go, oh yeah, I remember that guy. So we're going to play a song from it. You can find her on social media, by the way, at I Am Ravive. That's RAVIVE. And the link to all of her stuff will be in the show notes. So, yeah, there you go. Trauma Response, her EP is out now. This song is Cry About It. We'll be right back. It's The Melting Pat.
Try to warn ya, selfish to lick the wounds of the devil. Where did you think the blood would go? Cry about it, could cry about it. Kick up your feet, get comfortable and cry about it. Cry about it, could cry about it. Why don't you go to your room and cry about it? Sad boy with a hatchet, mad boy, greedy habit, selfish to lick the wounds of the devil. Where did you think your sins would go? Self-absorbed, starved for more, on the hunt for a body to claim. Where did you think the blood would go? Cry about it, could cry about it. Kick up your feet, get comfortable and cry about it. Cry about it, could cry about it. Why don't you go to your room and cry about it? Stop. up your feet, get comfortable, and cry about it. Cry about it. Could cry about it. Why don't you go to your room and cry about it? Starved for more. On the hunt for a body to claim. Where did you think the blood would go?
And there you have it, our dear friend Ravive, that song Cry About It from her debut EP. Debut as Ravive, right? Yeah, that's how we say that. It's a debut. Trauma Response, it is out now. I am Ravive on socials. All the things for that will be in the show notes, as well as the link to our chat from when she was on the show last year. So there you go. Thank you, my friend. Much appreciated. And go check her out on all of the things. And yeah, is that all I had to say about that? Yes. Yes, it is. I almost went stone cold, but I remembered my stone cold impression is trash. I don't know if I got that right, but I went for it. That's just going by vibes and maybe not by ear, and maybe it was wrong. So, Ravive, I sincerely apologize if I screwed up the riff. Please do not let that deter you from checking out her stuff. She is fantastic, and I hope she can come back on the show soon. So there you go with all of that. Thank you, my friend, for the okay there. All right, so we've got some stuff to talk about today. We had our question that I meant to do last week, but I forgot. I remembered this time. So we'll, I guess, officially, technically, lead with that and then get on with the other stuff. There's a lot of sports stuff at the end of the show. So if you don't like that, well, I'm sorry, but I'll do my best. I'll let you know. It'll be fine. So our question was, if you were team mom or dad, what would be your go-to snack? And Lockjaw actually asked what a team mom does, or team mom or dad does. So Drave jumped. We'll do this first, and then we'll get to the answers. So Drave stepped in. Drave, hope you don't mind me reading this part. He said it's basically the team mom and dad is responsible for feeding the team, snacks and whatnot after games and practices and all those things. Usually games. He says, the small slice of suburban hell, really. I was going to have my son play Little League, but it was mandatory that people rotate working concessions. No. I'm with you on that one, Drave. 100%. If there's a parent who wants to do it, I say have at it. Not everyone has the time or the energy or the means or the resources or whatever to get that heavily involved. Sometimes putting them on the team and paying all those fees and whatnot, if there are any, are about the extent of what a parent can do. So, not a fan of like forced volunteerism, especially when in a lot of cases there are parents who will want to do it and will want to help out. So, denying them that just because, everyone has to get involved is a bunch of So, yeah, Drave, I'm with you. 100%. All right, Danielle says, the big box of chips, case of juice, and tasty cakes from BJ's. I love it. BJ's is actually a good place to go for this because you get in bulk, it's cheaper, and you got to buy for usually, 10, 15, 20 kids, however many. And so, yeah, get it all at one place and, save some money, earn some. Do you get rewards with those memberships? I have no idea. So that's good. I like it. Kripla says, I would say chips or Doritos and a bunch of munchy type stuff. So yeah, little snack stuff. That's solid. It's easy too, right? Because every kid's going to enjoy like Doritos or Lay's or whatever. There'll be something in there for every kid, generally, right? By the way, Drave said, I'll be the dad who brings soda and chips. There you go. Perfect. Simple and kind of tough to, because like with things like this, like variety is good, but can also be bad, which we'll talk about in a second with the last answer we have here. Clockshot says, I remember one year in Little League that it rotated every week, and it was orange slices or a healthy snack that was preferred. But for the sake of the argument, I will say the Frito-Lay variety snack sacks. That's tough, man. Why would you do that to me, Clockshot? With like 20 bags each, we'll do the trick. Yeah, that's easy. But I think we have a winner. No offense to anybody else, but Gertner jumped in here and said, orange slices and Sunny D, baby. That's right. That's perfect. Sunny D is good for you, right? Maybe? I don't know. And orange slices. That's a good thing in this case because everybody gets the same thing. So like if you have a variety pack of chips and somebody takes the last barbecue or whatever and one kid wanted it, then the kid's going to be bummed out, right? You want to avoid that at all costs. Plus, orange slices are healthier than a bag of chips anyway, and are probably good for the kid. Better for the kid than than the bag of chips, right? So I think Gertner's our winner. But the reason that I didn't do this last is because I wanted to save Brian Amato's answer, because I want to kind of talk about, I want to riff on it for a little bit, if you don't mind. Brian Amato says Lunchables. And if I remember correctly, when we did Best and Worst Lunchable on the podcast, I think that he selected the correct choice of pizza as the best one. I think so, if I'm remembering correctly. And, fair point, my brain is mush right now, so maybe I'm not, but he'll let me know. Brian will listen and let me know, maybe. So here's the thing. I like that idea in theory, because it's an easy, it's more variety than a bag of chips. It's probably, I don't know if it's better for you, but it's more stuff than a bag of chips, right? Maybe more filling than a bag of chips. How about that? And so I like it for that reason, but they're kind of expensive. You have to buy, you have to buy 15 or let's say 20, right? Say you have 20 kids on the team, whatever sport this is, pick one, doesn't matter. So you have to buy 20 Lunchables. And Lunchables, they're more expensive than, say, bag of chips or orange slices, right? For sure. And so that's an issue. It can be an issue, right? Unless you're Mr. Moneybags over there like Brian. But so that can be an issue. But also, back to the variety thing, right? So, say if you buy 20 things of Lunchables. Say you buy, 5 of the pizzas, 5 turkey and cheese, and 5 ham and cheese, and then 5 whatever, the nacho one, right? Those are all still varieties of Lunchables, right? So you do that, and somebody doesn't like ham and cheese, but they really want nachos, and they miss out on the nachos and have to eat the ham and cheese. Well, now you got an upset kid, because the snacks that you bought, while they're good and they'll fill the team up, you got a kid upset eating something he doesn't like, or maybe he can't eat, right? Maybe he's allergic to something or other, right? So although I did say, for the sake of the question, assume that allergies are not a factor and homemade stuff is okay. So let's throw that part out. So let's forget that I said the allergy thing. But maybe you get a kid who just doesn't like ham and cheese and really wanted the nacho thing. And if some kid took the last nacho and all he's left with is ham and cheese, now he's bummed out, which is what you really want to avoid in this case, right? You want to do, if you're in charge of snacks, you want to avoid making anybody mad if you can. And I think the way to do that is just kind of go get the same thing for everybody, right? Doesn't that make a little, I like the Lunchables pick in theory. I think it's good because that's more sustenance than a bag of chips, right? But I kind of like the orange slice idea, even though I don't really like oranges that much, but shove it in your mouth and you get some Sunny D, you'll be fine, right? Damn it.
That's what she said. Woo!
Thank you, Bender. Oh my God, I almost missed that one. But yeah, no, I like the Lunchables pick, but I just feel like it's a little trickier in a case like this where you have, one, to buy so many, and two, you don't want a kid to get upset because he doesn't get something that he can really eat, right? Or if he gets something that he can't eat, you don't want that either. For whatever reason it might be that he can't eat it, you don't want that, right? Awesome. I just realized I've been doing this for 20 minutes and don't have the backup going, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. It probably wasn't going to work anyway. So that's fine. All right. Never mind. There's a coin. And that's it. Thank you, everybody, for weighing in for your answers for this week. I appreciate it. The last time I asked a question about snacks, nobody answered. So I'm really glad people jumped in with their responses this time. Although I'm not looking for snacks right now. But that's not true. I'm always looking for snacks. Who am I kidding? So there you go. Thank you very much for that, for your answers, and for indulging me for a few minutes on that. All right. So I mentioned we have a new plan for Memorial Day weekend. And that is because we learned, okay, we're going to have to go back to 2019 here. The first year when we moved here, a month after we moved here in, middle of April, and then Memorial Day, pronounce all those syllables, Pat, is May, right? So we get a thing in the door, Memorial Day weekend, says, hey, we're having a block, maybe a week before. Hey, we're having a block party on this day. Please move your cars and, come out and join the fun, whatever it said. I don't remember. And I was like, well, we don't have a car, so I don't have to worry about that part. And that weekend or that night, Jill was dog sitting, so she was away, so it was just going to be me. And I was like, well, I'm not going to that. So I just all right, good to know, whatever. I ignored it. And then that night, the music, they got a DJ, and it felt like the speaker was set up right outside my house and was pointing at my door because it was shaking the windows. It was loud as hell. And it went on till like midnight. It was insane. I had to watch TV with my headphones because I legitimately couldn't hear what was going on. So I got a little miffed about that. And I was like, all right, well, next year we'll figure something out. And then, 2020, COVID, nothing happened. They didn't do it last year, which I think is a good thing because we had a newborn, like a brand new newborn at that time. And so this year we got no notice in the door. But then on Saturday, we saw porta potties across the street, which can mean two things. Number one, there's going to be some serious construction or renovations going on, or we're going to have a little a shindig that we're either not invited to and are going to be upset by somehow. So Saturday afternoon, we're kind of getting ourselves, settling into our routine of just hanging out with the kid and doing all that. So then we hear the music start, and it is loud. It is very loud, shaking the windows, super loud. And both of us have had headaches every day since we got COVID in December. So that's not helping. The rattling bass is not helping. And so I was like, all right, well, we can't sit here all day and listen to that because it's going to just drive us nuts. And we can't watch TV because we won't be able to hear anything. Luckily, the kiddo didn't seem to care at all. But we were like, you know what? Nope, we can't. We got to go. And if I had known ahead of time, I would have put this new idea into action. So we decided we're just going to go. We went to the outdoor mall here, did some shopping, got some food, just kind of wandered around just to be out of the house and off the block for a few hours. Ended up being a great day. I still have to find sneakers before we go away. But ended up being a really great day for us. And then we got home and the music stopped at like 20 minutes later. So like that worked out really well. But if I had known ahead of time, I decided on a new plan. Memorial Day weekend, the Saturday of Memorial Day, we're just going to go stay in a hotel. Like not to go see anything, although maybe it could evolve to that at some point. But the general idea is to just get out of the house, get off the block, and avoid this whole shindig altogether. And when I say block party, it didn't seem like that because it seemed like it was just one or two families that just wanted to have a party and they blocked off the street and hired a DJ and did all this stuff. And I guess because we weren't part of it, it just seemed, although I wouldn't have wanted to be a part of it anyway, but it was just an annoyance for us all day. So that's why we had to leave. So I decided, yeah, we're just going to go stay at a hotel overnight, just get away from the block and get away from all that noise and, deal with some new noise, but it won't be that bad, right? At least I hope not. So that's our plan for Memorial Day going forward on Saturday. Because I just think, we don't want to go to the party. We don't care. And it also doesn't seem like we were invited this time because we got no real notice that it was happening and no hey, because usually for a block party, right, you ask all the neighbors to participate and you say, okay, you bring this, you do this, you pay for this, and then we'll all have a good time. But it didn't seem like that happened. It just seemed like, a couple of families wanted to have a party and block off the street for some reason, which, my feelings on loud music in general. I just think this is a step in the wrong direction. But yeah, so we have a new plan. We did some shopping. We developed a new plan for a holiday weekend. And hopefully next year it'll be great. Or maybe the people will move and they won't do the party anymore. Or maybe not move. Maybe they just won't do the party anymore and we'll not have to worry about that. But since we're going to work off this assumption that they will, and then we're going to go away and get out of town for the day and, go someplace with a pool and just hang out. Right? Sound good? Great. Because I don't give a about block parties or any of that stuff. Because, Wilford Brimley, as he once said, R.I.P., it's entirely too loud in here at the Kids Teen Choice Awards. So it's a joke for one person, and I'm glad you were here to hear it. I don't know if you were or not, but if you are, God bless you, and thank you very much. All right, so that is that's like the me stuff for this week. We did it all. Thank you very much. We got some sports things. Well, the first thing it is sports because it involves athletes and fantasy football, but it's not like numbers and this team did this and this team did that. So maybe if you don't like sports, you can stick around for this ridiculous story and then check out after that. So I love this story. It's so ridiculous. And again, I don't think I have even all the information yet, but Tommy Pham is an outfielder for the Cincinnati Reds and Jock Peterson is an outfielder for the San Francisco Giants. They had a series last weekend and during batting practice, Jock Peterson's out there warming up or whatever. Tommy Pham walks out and says, "Hey, man, you remember last year?" And Peterson's like, "Yeah, fantasy football." Pham goes, "Yeah," and he smacked him in the face. And there's a camera that caught it, and everybody's like, "Dude, what the hell? What's going on?" So we find out that Tommy Pham and Jock Peterson were in a fantasy football league together, among other major leaguers. And Tommy Pham was upset that Jock Peterson, he thought Jock Peterson was cheating because he was, stashing players on his injured list. But Peterson was like, "Dude, it's in the rules. We can do this. It's fine. What are you talking about?" And so Pham was like, "Dude, you're cheating. This is..." And then there was also a group chat in which Jock Peterson shared a GIF of the Padres, making fun of the Padres. It was 3 weightlifters, and it was like Giants, Dodgers were 2 weightlifters, and the Padres was another one. And the weightlifter who was under the Padres logo buckled under the pressure to insinuate that, not insinuate, but to, reflect that the Padres were doing well and then they weren't and missed the playoffs last year. So poking fun at the Padres playing poorly. And Tommy Pham was upset by this. He played for the Padres at the time. He's like, "Bro, we're not friends like that. Like, what are you doing? We don't joke like that because we're not buddies." And it was funny because Jock Peterson said when Tommy Pham slapped him, that was the first time they met in person, which is not uncommon in, today's landscape of technology and social things and whatnot. But I mean, if that's the first time you meet this guy in person, you slap him, come on, man. And it's just, oh my God. This story is ridiculous. I love it. I love this story so much because it's so ridiculous. Tommy Pham was so upset about supposed cheating in fantasy football that his first recourse was to find him and slap him. And apparently, he said in the group chat, he said, next time I see you, I'm going to give you a pimp slap. So I'm like, all right, well, Jock Peterson was warned, I guess. So then, after the supposed cheating and the pimp slap threat, Tommy Pham left the league. And then, the slap happens. And then there was a rain delay. And it was during that time that the league said, hey, the Giants said to the Reds, like, hey, he should, Pham should sit out this game. And the Reds were like, no, what are you talking about? No. So Major League Baseball stepped in and said, all right, buddy, we're going to suspend you 3 games. And he's like, okay, only if today's game counts. So instead of being suspended Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Major League Baseball said, okay. Tommy Pham did not appeal, did not deny any of this, by the way. Like, this is what happened. Then he came out and said more just made it worse. He just keeps making it worse for himself. Like, yeah, it's this and da-da-da. And he's really, taking fantasy football quite seriously, more serious than I've ever taken it. That's for sure. But I love it. I love this story. It's fantastic that he got so upset that his first reaction was to slap the out of Jock Peterson the first time he saw him in person. Like, what the hell are you doing, man? And apparently there was a $10,000 buy-in. So I guess, the line for slapping someone over fantasy football is $10,000. And he jokingly called out Mike Trout, who is he being Tommy Pham, who is the commissioner of the league. And according to Pham and other people, like, yeah, nobody really wanted it. We kind of made him be commissioner. So then why even mention it? Like, why mention Mike Trout at all in this story? Like, this is between you and Jock Peterson because you thought Jock was cheating and you decided to slap him for some reason. And I don't really know why, but it just like this story, like, he blamed Mike Trout. He thought Jock was cheating. Jock was like, no, here are the rules. He felt disrespected by the GIF, making fun of the Padres. And it's just, I'm sure there's more to it. I don't know. I feel like Tommy Pham will put out another statement about this soon, or maybe he already has. I love it. Like, I love it. My team is playing terribly right now, so I needed a good story like this to laugh about and realize that, there are some people, even millionaires, who take things way too seriously. So there you go. Fantasy football, man. That's not why I don't play anymore. I just kind of got tired of it. But I've never paid to play fantasy football. So I guess maybe that's why I've never been truly invested. Although the one time we did a 4-team league, that was fun as hell. Oh, man. Hey, 3 people. Do this next year. No, I don't want to do it. So there you go. There's your, I don't know, your like weird, wacky, funny sports story of the week. I don't know if I'll be able to find other ones, but I think that's hilarious. Why call out Mike Trout? Why? Why would you? And of course, and the player who was apparently stashed on the bench, the NFL player was on the 49ers. Apparently, he got wind of it, and like his parents are calling him like, "Hey, you're involved in this story." He's like, "Yeah, all right, that's great. I'm just here to play the game and help win, and if they win money because of me, that's great. You're welcome," or whatever he said. He's like, "Why are you doing this to me?" So Tommy Pham has started a whole storm of because he felt cheated by Jock Peterson in the Fantasy Football League. Utterly ridiculous. I love every second of it. So, yeah, there's your here's your wild sports story of the week. Now let's get to the real stuff. Oh, man, it's a bummer. The Phillies are awful. They won the other day, which is great. But overall this year, they've been bad. They've been pretty bad. Like, who knew that hiring a bunch of DHs to play the outfield would come back to bite them? Oh, yes, everyone. They're not hitting well. The defense, which we knew is bad. So I'm not really like, a lot of people are harping on how bad the defense is, but like we knew it was going to happen. So now it's just comical at this point that just how bad they are. And the pitching's been mostly terrible, especially in the bullpen again. And this has been it's been a running theme for 6-7 years that the bullpen has been garbage. And so I don't know what to do. A lot of fans are, I don't know. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep watching and hope they turn it around. But a lot of fans are saying, hey, it's time to fire the manager. And I've never been a fan of that because I've never been a fan to make a change just because. Like, you have to have a plan in place to rectify whatever broke, right? And if you fire the manager, Joe Girardi, right now, you got nobody to replace him. Like, everybody on the staff is kind of inexperienced, except for I think there is someone who's managed in the minors. Why can't I remember anyone's name right now? But anyway, you don't want to do it. Like, there's no ex-manager sitting out there waiting to get a phone call to manage your team, right? So you don't want to do that. You don't want to kind of leave them without a captain, as it were. And, also he's not the one making the bad plays and making the mistakes on the field, but he's not making the best decisions with personnel either. So he's not blameless. I'm not saying that, but making a change just because, if you feel like this is going to shake things up and solve all the problems, you're kidding yourself, because a new manager is not going to make these guys catch the ball. It's not going to, make sure these guys start hitting, and he's not going to make the bullpen guys better. So I feel like that's not, the team has already said, or as of right now, they're not going to pick up his option for next year. So essentially, this is his last year anyway as manager. So, ride it out. Maybe Dave Dombrowski can make some moves and see what happens there. But, the team's more than a couple guys away, right? They're not right on the cusp of contention. Why did I choose those words in that order? But, they're not just one move away, right? It's going to take some pieces and moving around and things like that to really turn this around. And it's June, so you kind of got to hurry up here. But, like I said, I'm not a fan of just making a change just because, and the manager isn't always at fault. Maybe I saw a stat that since, what was the year? It was from MLB.com. Since 1969, I think, 174 times the manager has been let go they changed managers mid-season, the teams, and 14 of those teams made the playoffs. 14 of 174. I think that was the number. If I'm wrong, I don't know. The point is, the result you're expecting, you're going to get a new manager in there and you're going to turn the team around and make the playoffs. It doesn't happen that often. So get that out of your head. That's not, if you want to fire the guy just because you don't want to see him manage anymore, that's one thing. But expecting the team to magically get better with a new manager is silly, and you shouldn't think that. I don't know. But also, who can win with this team? The team can't play defense. The pitching's mostly terrible, and they're not hitting. Everybody's in a slump at the same time, it seems. So if you say, we'll just change the manager, you're not changing the guys on the field, and they're not going to magically be better for a new coach. So do I know what the solution is? See ball, hit ball, and, get 3 outs in a row, relievers. But limit the walks. If you want to be more specific about it, stop walking everyone in the late innings. I guess that's it. And catch the damn ball. So there are my... Pat, how do you fix the Phillies? Here we go. Number 1, see ball, hit ball. Number 2, stop walking guys late in the game. And number 3, catch the goddamn ball. So there you go. There are my 3 keys to fix the Phillies. There it is. We got it. We solved it. We're good. We solved the case. All right, breaking news real quick. I hooked up to one of the old microphones. I don't even have the booster, so I don't know what this is going to sound like, but I opened Facebook to check something, and as of 7 minutes ago, I'll have to shoehorn this in, the Phillies have relieved Joe Girardi of his duties as manager today. So all that stuff I said about making change just because, apparently the Phillies said and Joe Girardi is no longer I shouldn't be laughing, but I'm laughing at the timing of it because I already recorded, like the patrons won't know this, but I already recorded the show, and I spent a whole chunk of time on why is this going to really change anything? And they decided apparently it will. So Joe Girardi, effective today, June 3rd, he is no longer managing the Phillies. Bench coach Rob Thompson will be interim manager through the end of the 2022 season. And coaching assistant Bobby Meacham was also relieved of his duties today. Let me just see this statement here. If anything jumps out that I need to mention to you, that's a lot. It's really small print. I can't see. Phillies, come on. There's a coin. What you need to know is Joe Girardi has been relieved of his duties effective June 3rd, and Rob Thompson is the interim manager for the rest of the year. And coaching assistant Bobby Meacham was also let go today. So, yeah, that's Friday. I was just starting to edit the show, and I opened Facebook to look at something else, and I saw that Joe Girardi has been relieved. So all that stuff that I said before, or maybe, yeah, we'll put this after, and then we'll get back to the show somehow. I hope this sounds okay. I'm connected kind of weirdly, but yep. So all that stuff I said about making changes for change's sake, well, I guess the Phillies decided that enough's enough, as Owen Hart once said, and it's time for a change. So Joe Girardi out as Phillies manager, and I'm out of this segment. So let's get back to the show. We're good to go. Next. Although I did read the other day, kind of related to NL East. Actually, the last baseball thing is NL East. So all this is NL East stuff. Somebody a few weeks ago, whenever Max Scherzer got hurt, somebody said, the Mets are down another ace of their staff, so the NL East is wide open. And whoever wrote that, you've clearly not watched the NL East, because the Phillies are a mess. The Braves are streaky at best. The Marlins have been one guy away for 7 years or so. I know they made the playoffs like 2 years ago. But anyway, and the Nationals are not good. They're in last place. They're the worst team in the division, which is saying something when the Phillies are there right now. So the fact that the Mets are down several pitchers right now and will still win the division, they're still up in the division by 10.5 games. It's June. That says a lot about the quality of the rest of the division, and that it's, basically it's. So to say that the division's wide open, I don't know what division you're talking about, but it's certainly not the NL East, because it's the Mets to lose. There you go. There's your shout out for Matt Ibanez. Till Mets do as part of his podcast. I don't remember the network he's on, but shout him out in case he listens. I don't know if he does, but there you go, Matt Ibanez. Big fan. I should have you on. You should make fun of how bad my team is, and then we'll talk about the Falcons and how bad they are, so I can feel a little better. All right, there you go. If he listens, I have no idea, but maybe he will, and he'll come on the show. So there you go. There's your Phillies. Oh, my God. And speaking of the Nationals, as we just mentioned, their GM, is it Mike Rizzo? Rizzo from the Muppets? I don't know. Says, hey, we're not trading Juan Soto. We're not going to trade Juan. Nope, forget it. Stop asking. We're not going to trade him. We're going to build around him. So here's my problem with that. Number one, they're not very good. They're last in the division, like I said. They're the worst team in the division. And the teams ahead of them, specifically the Mets, and I would say the Braves, even though they're stumbling at the moment, are much better than they are. So it's not like they have to go out and get one pitcher or a third baseman, and then they'll be ready to contend for the division again. So I just like I like the idea, in theory, that you're going to build around your superstar. You should do that. The guy's, 23 or 24? He's already one of the best players in the game by far, and he's probably only going to get better. So he's nearing the end of his rookie deal, and everyone's saying, the Nationals are not great, so they should trade him, restock the farm, and rebuild. But GM said, nope, we're going to keep this going. We're going to rebuild around him, and it's going to be great. The problem is he's going to probably get a contract north of $400 million. So can you afford to pay him that much and get all the pieces you need to be a contender while he's still in his prime and still one of the best players in the league? I don't know. I don't know what their finances are beyond that, or at all, actually. So I have no idea, but it's a nice thought. You want to build around your superstar. But here's a guy who is a tremendous player, and his agent, Scott Boras, is known for getting his clients the biggest paydays possible. So, good thought, but I don't think it's going to work out in practice, but we shall see. How funny would it be? This won't happen for sure, but how funny would it be if the Phillies poach Juan Soto from the Nationals too? Like, they already got Bryce Harper, signed him to a massive deal, and he is living up to it so far. So how great would it be if they just signed Juan Soto as well? Oh, man, it won't happen. I would love it, but it won't happen. So we shall see. Maybe, in a couple weeks, the GM will decide, you know what, we're not going to be able to sign him to a long-term deal, so it's best to flip him, get some prospects, and go about this the other way. So we shall see. If that happens, I'll be sure to let you know as soon as I can. All right? And let's see. There's your NL East, I guess, recap. The Braves are up and down, and the Marlins are, they're the Marlins. So there you go. We're good there. We did it. We talked about every team in the division. And finally this week, the news came out the other day that the late, great John Madden will be on the cover of Madden 23. This is the first time since 2000 he'll be on the cover of his game. And, 2000s when they started with the players. Barry Sanders was on the special edition, and Dorsey Levens, I think, was on the regular edition. And then every year after that, they've done players on the cover. So, which I don't know. I liked having Madden on the cover. I kind of preferred that. But how many, can you get Madden in 20 whatever different poses and make it unique? Especially now that he's gone. I don't know. I don't know if you could continue to do it. Like, you probably couldn't have him on Madden 24. You probably have to switch it up. But I kind of preferred Madden on the cover. That's me. But anyway, I'm sure they got stock photos of John Madden. So there you go. So Madden 23 comes out in August. Pat, are you going to get it? Not right away. I have Madden 21 that I got half price a couple years ago, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. But if I had paid more than that for it, I would be upset because there's not a lot in the game for me anymore. Like, I'm, franchise, and if there's a career mode, I'll try that. But all this other extra stuff and the online stuff, I don't care about any of it. So maybe not, but I'm interested to see if they'll, if this is going to be like a Madden tribute version, if you will, if they're going to make any big improvements to the game. We shall see. But I figured I talked about some crappy stuff sports-wise, so let's get a good note in there to wrap the show, as that's pretty cool. I like it. John Madden will be on the cover once again of his video games. So there you go with all of that. And I just realized I never watched the documentary. I got it saved on my DVR. I'm going to check it out as soon as I can. But time is something I don't have. So there you go. That's all. We did it. Enjoy all the things you got going on. Enjoy the playoffs. NBA Finals are set. The Celtics and the Warriors. And the NHL, we have the Lightning and the Rangers and the Avalanche and the Oilers. So go whoever you like. My Stanley Cup final pick is still in play. My NBA Finals pick is not in play at all. So there you go. Wait, I don't know if I picked both of them incorrectly, but I know I picked the Mavericks for some reason because I don't know a lot about the NBA. I guess that's it. So there you go. That's all the stuff. We're good. My thanks to everybody who weighed in on the question. My thanks to Ravive for the tune Cry About It, and her EP Trauma Response is available now. So go get it where you get stuff. Stream it, buy it, tell her I sent you. She'll probably remember who I am. Maybe fondly. I don't know. I'm a big fan. I hope she comes back on the show. That was weird, Pat. What are you doing? All right, so that is all. Thank you for being here. The meltingpat.com for all of my stuff. I did put a tab on my website, the network tab on my website. It has all the shows that everybody does. Panels of Pixels, What Lurks Behind Podcast Zero, Wilhelm, all of those things. I'm trying to figure out how to format it better, but for now, it's just a list. You click on them and you go to the show. Because we switched with websites, and I realized I don't know if there's a landing page for that anymore. And I keep telling you that there's one, and now it's at least part of my website, so you can go check it out. All right? All right, so there you go. 209-867-7638 with your questions, comments, concerns, observations, and, of course, corrections. There we go. Send a text or yell at me via voicemail, and we'll go from there. All right? All right. G-Love and Special Sauce with cold beverage. They're going to play us out as they always do. Philadelphonic.com for more from them. I think we're good. This has been an 8 Boiler production. Next week is my birthday. I don't know what's happening. I may have a guest. I don't know. Scheduling is tough, as you know. So I'll either have a guest or it'll be a regular show and I'll figure something out. And honestly, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do, if I'm going to do anything like super special for it. But if you have a suggestion, let me know by Wednesday. All right? All right. Sounds good to me. Does it sound good to you? I don't know. I hope so. And then the week after, I'm going on vacation, so that'll be a mailbag episode, which will be recorded tomorrow. So by the time you hear this, it'll be done. But send me your questions anyway, and we'll get them for the next one, all right? All right, so there you go. We're good. We are good. Thank you so much. Oh, my goodness. Till next time, my friends, have fun. Be safe. Thank a veteran. Wear your mask, wash your hands, get vaccinated and boosted when you can. And, of course, don't do anything I wouldn't do. We're all good, right? That's all the things we wrote down. Thank you so much for being here. You've been inside the Melting Pat. I'll talk to you next week. Go crap open a cold one.